Hey guys, so I have recently had a lot of people be asking me about basically like what happens once you get admitted into Stanford, because you know, once the initial excitement and honestly disbelief kind of settles in, you start to actually get kind of, I don't want to say impatient, but I guess like anxious about, okay, like what are the next steps, you know, especially when you're early decision, you still have like months and months until, you know, you get to actually head onto campus over in Palo Alto. And so I just wanted to make a quick video to detail that to any, you know, regular decision people who are going to be coming in the spring, or, you know, people that are just curious about the process, or maybe even some future 2024 and beyond acceptance. All right, so the first thing that happens is that when you actually get your admissions decision, it's going to be coming through the portal that you actually applied through. And you're going to get a little email saying that there's a status update, or also you'll just kind of like know the date and time that it's coming out, and you'll just check that. And then the portal will basically say, hey, we'll be sending you some admissions, you know, materials and stuff in the future. Be patient. And here's the thing is that, so there is this whole group chat that I'll get into in a minute, but basically I learned that some people got this mailed in packet like right away. And for some people like me, it actually took like a week and a half. Some people even way longer than that. And it's kind of random how it comes, because I thought, oh, you know, people that are like right there in the Bay Area are gonna get it pretty quickly. And actually some of those people that literally live in the Bay Area, like 45 minutes most away from campus, like it took them a while to get it, like longer than it took me up in Seattle. And then there are people in freaking like Chicago that got it like 2 days later. So it was definitely kind of crazy how that whole thing works. But so they're gonna mail you in a packet, and it's gonna look like this. It is honestly a little bit underwhelming once you get in mail, because all it really has in it is this little fun sticker thing. Now, here's the thing, do not iron this. There was someone in the class of 2023 who thought this was like an iron-on patch. It's definitely not. Learn from them. Don't try and iron this. Instead, it's like a decal that like sticks to stuff sometimes. It's supposed to stick like that way. So like you'll put it on like the back of a window in your mirror or in your car, something like that. So there's that fun little piece of Stanford swag. And then there is your official acceptance letter. I kind of like crossed out some important information for me. But it's basically just the same thing that came in the email, but it's signed in real pen. Actually, I think that's printed on, so it's kind of fake, but whatever. It's so cool. And then there's, of course, this fun little envelope that basically details stuff about enrollment, some fun notice things, stuff about your transcripts, things that you need to send in, and then admit weekend, which is something that's super exciting. And they invite you to sign up for that, all that stuff. And then there's also student receptions. Basically, after you get this initial packet, there's gonna be 2 fun kinds of like events that you can go to. The first one is gonna be your admit receptions, which are local, and they're gonna be based in the city that you live in, or like the closest big city. So for instance, I live in Seattle, and so it's really convenient enough that there is a admit reception happening right here in January in Seattle, where all the people who got in early action are all invited to come. I think there's also one for regular decision. I'm not quite sure though. But so there's that. And then the second thing is admit weekend, which they give you all the dates for, all that fun stuff. You can sign up. And I'm really excited for that too. And that's down at the Stanford campus. So the first one is like a local thing. And then the second one is like with everyone who got in, and it's down on the Stanford campus. That is not the end of the whole like kind of excitement that happens once you get admitted. You get referred to a website that then gives you a ton of really cool resources to start really developing that Stanford community. The first one is basically a link that invites you to join a class Facebook page. And I know that this is something that is pretty consistent across a lot of smaller and a bit more selective schools, where they invite you to join like a class of 2023 or whatever your college graduating class will be, a Facebook page for that group. And now the Facebook group has like 350 or something people on it, all people who got in early action. I heard from friends who've gotten into Stanford in years past that only about half of people like hear about this, because it's not the most intuitive thing. Like once you get accepted, definitely go online and like look up Stanford acceptance, like accepted students thing, and then like go to the website, and then it'll show you that link. Click on it, join it. And what they do is they verify you. So you give in some information about yourself, like your name, your birth date, where you're born, stuff like that. And then they check it with like the list of people who got in. That way, you know, like there aren't like randos in the group. Now, this group is really, really cool because basically it's just given over to the class of 2023 as a tool to start developing that community. So there's a lot of like cool, I guess, kind of like leaders that kind of arise in the class where they will do posts that's like, hey, like put your introductions in here, hey, drop your Instagram usernames, all this stuff, which is really awesome. Like I've gained like 200 followers just in the past month from purely the Stanford class of 2023 people. So it's a really cool resource. The other thing is also someone created a GroupMe, which a bunch of people started joining. Now the GroupMe is literally like the biggest GroupMe I've ever been in. There's like 230 or something people in it. And that's a really cool resource too, where you get to talk to a lot of people. They also tried making a Discord, which I've never used Discord before and I didn't really know what it is. And I still don't really know what it is. No one really uses it, but that's the thing too. And so for me, I found this whole like community building thing really, really useful, because I kind of had this image of, you know, Stanford students and those admitted students as kind of, I don't know, like overachievers is kind of like understating it, but people who, you know, are super like nerdy, just exist for school, like their social medias would be non-existent and stuff. Not to be judgmental, but that was kind of like the preconceived notions I had. But I was really, really surprised by the kinds of people that I saw in the class of 2023. There are people who like are awesome human beings and they are just so fascinating to learn about and start to develop connections and friendships with. Like right now I'm in a little group chat with like 20 or so admits from all across the country, and it's on Snapchat, and we literally just like talk about our lives, talk about fun stuff. So it's a really cool resource. And then people also start to talk about where they're from, and then you kind of get like little groups of people who are like local. So I'm also in another little Snapchat group chat that has a bunch of like Seattle area, Puget Sound area people in it, which is also really fun. We're planning a little meetup sometime at the end of winter break. So anyways, there's a lot of really fun community building opportunities once you get admitted. So then once you kind of, you know, you've gotten your admission packet, you start building that community, the next step is financial aid, right? You want to know how much you're going to be getting and how much it's going to cost to go to Stanford. This process took me really long, and it was definitely very anxiety, like giving and stuff. Some people got their financial aid information like 1 or 2 weeks after they received their admissions decision. For me, it took a lot longer. And we called the financial aid office like at least 3 times, and they kept saying, oh, we'll let you know this Monday. Oh, we'll let you know at the end of this week. Oh, we'll let you know next week. And it kind of like went on and on and on, so that they didn't tell me until like 2 weeks after they were supposed to tell everyone. And I put in all of my financial aid information on time. So all that is to say, like, if you did everything right and there's still weird delays and stuff, like, don't freak out. Like, it's gonna be taken care of. Sometimes just people kind of get stuck behind the system. I don't really know how it works, but they'll send you another thing in the mail in addition to a update to this other login portal, which I'll talk about in a second. That basically gives you all of your financial aid information. I'll make a separate video detailing that process later, but basically if you do everything right, it will come eventually. Finally is all of the internet things, right? So your email, your you might have heard of like Access, like whatever that is. So what they do is they invite you to then begin to really create a lot of these like Stanford IDs and stuff like that. So there's a link when you look up like Stanford admit process, or like once, I don't know, there's like a website on the Stanford website that shows you like the steps to do once you're admitted. Anyway, so on that page, they basically detail how to create your Stanford ID, which is unique to you, and it'll end up being like your email handle too. Some people add like letters and numbers and stuff to it, but keep in mind, like, that's gonna be your email for the 4 years that you're at Stanford and beyond. So you wanna kind of be smart about it. You just create your ID, and then you get to log in through Access, which is basically where you'll start to like sign up for classes in the future and like other fun stuff. You can see your financial aid information through there, lots of fun stuff. But here's the thing, is that once you create your Access account, it actually takes like 24 hours or so to be able to access it. So like, don't be like me and freak out and think that you were like locked out or did something wrong, because that's what I thought. And then I spent like 2 hours trying to call the Stanford people because I was freaking out and thought I did something wrong. So basically, like, I'm gonna repeat this over and over again. Like, if little things are going wrong, like, don't freak out. Definitely go ahead and like call, but also just like calm down. Things will be taken care of. You still have months and months until you'll end up on the Palo Alto campus, so you can just kind of like chill. Anyway, so those are basically all the things that happen after you get admitted into Stanford. I hope this video was like helpful and informative and helped you kind of like quell some of your nerves that might be going on. And yeah, just basically know that like some of the greatest things that's going to happen in your life are about to be in store, and Stanford is there to, I don't know, help you out with that. So, yeah, that's basically the whole process. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment or anything like that. But yeah, don't have much else to say. So see you next time.